If the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say this was their finest hour.
We stand for Queen,
country, and video games. BRB UK.
Worse teeth,
better accents.
Hello, indeed, ahoy, hoy, and merry holiday times
Yay.
of whichever denomination you choose to follow, be it the little baby Jesus or the tentacle-faced Cthulhu.
Are they
matter.
the only two options?
They are the only two options. Which one are you going for, Tim? Cthulhu or the little baby Jesus? That's Tim, by the way.
I'm torn, but let's go, as it's Christmas, let's go baby Jesus.
Ah, Coleman, hello.
Hi! Merry Festivus!
So, Merry what now?
Festivus. It's a Festivus for the best of us.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So Cthulhu or little baby Jesus?
I'll go Cthulhu because I spent my day yesterday looking after my friend's cat, who is called Cat Thulu.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. A bit of a departure from my preferred means of naming cats, which is after biscuity goods. I think I'm gonna go Cthulhu as well.
Do you get presents at Christmas with Cthulhu?
No, you get soul eaten.
Sweet. So I don't need to get either of you presents at this time of year as well.
No. We are both a lost cause. We are facing an eternity in pointy damnation.
Okay, I'll take the presents. Thanks. That's good. I think I went with a good option.
Yeah, taking one for the team there, Tim. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, all good.
But what other deities do you think would be acceptable to celebrate at this? Well, of course, all of them are acceptable. It doesn't really matter. But are there any underserved deities that you would like to see get some love?
Batman.
No, Batman's not God.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not God.
It's my God.
It's not even God of Gotham.
Thor.
Now you're just saying numbers.
Thor.
Kratos.
Kratos, the God of War. And
Yeah,
Christmas.
I'd like to see him. Yep.
Zeus doesn't get enough
Zeus.
credit
No,
these days.
He's the big grand poobah of the gods, isn't he?
Exactly.
Athena! I have you a present!
They used to make good posters.
They did, actually. Especially that one. Remember that one back in the 80s, that girl scratching a bum while playing playing tennis? That was always a biggie in Athena and St Albans.
That sold lots, apparently.
I would like Chinamaster, I think, is underserved.
Master!
Yeah.
Raw.
Raw, yeah.
Underappreciated
Crom.
these days.
Crom. Did you just say Crom?
Maybe.
As in the scheduling thing on Unix. Is
Sure,
what you're
why
saying.
not?
Yeah, why not?
Not what I meant, but okay. How about Darkseid?
Ooh, I would like to.
Or Thanos.
Happy dark side, everybody.
Darkseid and Thanos holding hands together.
Ah,
Two purple space gods.
why? I just don't understand why they can't be together, Coleman.
I think we can only worship them in the summer at some sort of glowing shrine thing where we give people money to...
Ooh, I've got one.
Yeah.
Sheila Nagigs.
Who in the
Sheila
what now?
Nagigs.
That's Ryan's sister.
Yeah, it is. But she's also she's a deity from Old Ireland and Old Britain.
Good.
But actually, her translation on her name is the Old Hag of the Breasts.
You leave my mum out of this. I'll have you, Gibbons.
Come on. Don't go around insulting another man's family at Christmas. Come on.
Popular myths claim she was a lustful pagan goddess who threw herself at men by showing them her, quote, lady parts.
What did I just tell you?
Wow, her lady parts are in a strange place. And she also looks like E.T.
All right, I'll let you have that one.
It's going in the Discord chat. It's going in the Discord chat, Coleman. You're getting this.
Oh, my God. Tim, can I have a look at this?
No. I know the type of stuff.
It's just a statue. It's really weird looking, though.
No.
It's like E.T.'s ripping out his own stomach.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like the E.T. alien crossover that never happened.
Good, I can't see from here.
Excellent. So, right, well, that's our Christmas podcast. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Stop talking about my mum, Dan!
Oh, Jesus, all right. Very touchy about it, Coleman. You need to let it lie.
All right.
Anyway, what should we talk about, chap?
Games. Video games already.
I've been dragged along on a Sunday afternoon, which is most unusual. Usually, I'm falling asleep in front of the television at this point whilst wearing my smoking jacket.
Translation: playing Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do with it. In every hour, I'm not working, podcasting, or sleeping.
Yeah, pretty much.
We have the evidence to back this up, Dan.
Yeah, you do. You do, right? You do. So what you done played then, I suppose? We really ought to go for that.
Yeah, so we're doing an end of the year show thing, which means we're going to take like a couple of weeks off, which means we're not really taking a couple of weeks off. We're just doing a bunch of stuff in one period and then spacing it out so you don't go without shows.
Coleman is a Time Lord. That's how it works. Coleman is a Time Lord, or we know how to schedule stuff on a WordPress blog. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows which one it is?
We don't, because the scheduling's broken.
Yeah, it never works.
So in the build-up to Christmas then, so we're all trying to clear our backlogs, I suppose. Mate, I tell you what.
I've got so many games to play.
I've got so many games to play.
It's my only holiday, to be fair, and the only holiday that I've spent at all actually at home. So hopefully I'll get time to actually play some games.
Yeah, we've got to get our stuff ready for Big Red Barrel, Golden Barrel Award things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that means I've got even more to play. Jesus.
Yeah, we've got to clear our noms.
I've got to clear our noms.
Got to clear our noms.
Clear our noms. I love clearing a nom. Yeah, I like to call it having a little poo. That's what clearing my noms 24 hours after the fact.
So what cutting-edge games have you been playing, Dan?
Hey, I've been playing The Division.
Was that last year that came out, the year before?
It is, but it's now finally nearly the game it meant to be. So I just thought I'd dip my toe in the water because they released a rather large patch which added new content, rebalanced a bunch of weapons. I love a good patch.
Did they add aliens?
No, there's no aliens. I'm
Rubbish.
sorry, Tom.
I thought all Tom Clancy games were getting like sci-fi horror movie characters now.
No, sorry, mate. Sorry, buddy.
It's what Tom Clancy would have wanted.
I can guarantee what's happened to his name is exactly the diametric opposite of what he would have wanted. So I wonder what his gravestone reads like. Do you reckon that reads like a Tom Clancy novel?
Here lies Tom Clancy. Whatever you do, don't bastardise my name for the sake of video games.
Anyway, so they rather cunningly released a very large patch which not only rebalanced the game, added new items, but also a whole new playable area and new playable horde modes as well.
Horse modes?
Horse modes?
Horde mode. Yes, horse modes.
Excellent.
Zombie horse modes is exactly what happened.
I thought we could do horses in New York.
I know. You just got to go around and go, why the long face? I'm a horse.
Is it New York it's set? I've forgotten. It's been a while since I've played.
It is New York.
New York, okay.
Yeah, New York. New York. Manhattan.
Snowy
Manhattan specifically.
New
I'm
Yeah,
walking
so...
here.
What?
I'm walking here.
Chris, what?
You're walking there.
Oh, get a cup of coffee.
What?
That's my New York accent.
Okay.
It's very good.
I
it's
thought
very
so.
good, Coleman. Well done. Well done. You are going to be a treat to have around the Christmas table this year for your family. Considering it's free and released on exactly the same day as Curse of Osiris, which I think is very planned and very purposeful. A really fun addition to the game. I mean, I haven't really dipped my toe in the water for, ages, since it kind of seemed to be dying a bit of a death. But they seem to have been... In the time I last was in the Division, they've been adding a lot of new stuff, rebalancing the game, doing a lot of really good quality of life changes.
Quality of life.
I think you can now pick the game up with all the DLC for very cheap. So it's worth having a look at if you haven't. If you've got, a spare 10 quid or something, you see a copy of the Division for that, it's well worth giving it a flutter. Yeah, so, I mean, they've changed the way the Dark Zone works, which is always one of the major problems, where basically if you accidentally shot someone by accident, you would, like, on your team, let's say Tim was playing, right, and he walked in front of me as I was firing. Could happen.
Very obvious, yeah.
Could happen.
Yeah.
Could happen. It would make me turn rogue, and then everyone would want to kill me.
I remember that.
That sounds like fun, though, Dan.
Yeah, but now you have to opt to turn rogue.
Okay.
So if you're not rogue, you can't
Bit
hurt.
of friendly fire, won't
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, friendly fire doesn't apply, and which has made it a lot more kind of opt-in rather than people just kind of sneaking up on you and then you thinking, oh, cool, they're playing long, then they just nick all your loot and it all goes horribly wrong. So good stuff, really. Ubisoft's mission to continue adding awesome content to its games well after launch continues, and good stuff. Good guy, Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
I really want to get back to the Division, but instead I'm playing the sequel, Ghost Recon Wildlands. Because
How is that?
That's actually a lot better since I last played it. Because
Really? Are you just going to steal what I said about the Division?
I'd say they patched in some quality of life updates, Dan.
Oh, off, Coleman.
One day I'm going to make a word cloud of like your most commonly used words whenever you podcast, and one of them will be quality of life.
I think you'll find most of them will be swear words.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. I haven't played any previous Ghost Recon games to compare it to, but I can tell just by looking at it and some of the older games that it is a very different approach. You've got an open world style similar to The Division, but it's a much larger map, and you have vehicle access, so you can use cars and trucks and motorbikes and boats and planes and helicopters.
Helicopters!
Yes.
Well done, Tim. You tried to say that like gladiators, and I applaud you for that.
Helicopters!
Helicopters!
So the last time I spoke about this was shortly after launch, and I didn't particularly like it, mostly because of the amount of bugs in the game, and much as I said last week, when I was playing the game, I got more enjoyment out of messing around in it than I did playing the game properly, and there wasn't really much point in me getting this game because I was playing GTA Online, and that has a much better mess around physic to it than Wildlands does.
Talking GTA Online, just completely derail you. Have you seen the new heist? It looks amazing.
I have, but no one seems to want to play it, so...
I'll play it.
All right. It's pretty much a story mission. That's what everyone said. In lieu of having single-player content, the DLC, they've added a free update, new heist, and it looks really cool. And I heard a couple of guys say that it took them 4 hours to get past the first part. So, and it comes in 3 parts.
So it's going to take us the whole Christmas holiday, is what you're saying?
But flying DeLoreans. So
hey, what's not?
Anyway,
Anyway, get back
Lotus
to Wildlands.
Anyway, yeah, Wildlands. So. Much as I spoke about last week, they announced the Predator update is coming. The Hunt is called, I believe, and I really want to play that. So I went out and I found the copy on the cheap. I bought 2 copies, so Tim's got one too. So we're going to play some of this.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Do you want one? No, I'm playing it on PC.
I have got it on PC, actually.
Yeah, I know. So I didn't bother.
I got it for free with my video card, if that's any better. I don't know.
Okay. And although I can't see the actual game mode itself is launched yet, I saw the you can buy like Predator t-shirts and stuff in the game as well. And there's one of the costumes that lets you have, you know, the gauntlet that the Predator wears that has like the countdown for the bomb at the end of the film.
The NES Power Glove, yes.
Yeah, you can have your character wear 2 of those.
Nice.
Well, 2 Power Gloves? That's craziness.
Yeah. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm enjoying it, but I'm playing it in single player at the moment, and I'm finding it a lot easier to play in single player because the AI actually does help and doesn't run away and grab a motorbike and drive off into the sunset or anything.
You wait till you get my help, eh?
Exactly, yeah. We're going to mess around in this a lot, but when I played it previously, I played it mostly in multiplayer, and we couldn't seem to get any missions done because we were always messing around in it, and this time... Like, you've got the whole sync shot system where you'll pick out an enemy either via a drone or via aiming or something, and then you can hit the X button. It will go, hey, sync up shot. So all the AI people will sync up their shot. And then when you take your shot, everyone will take a shot. And I'm finding that particularly handy in getting through the game because if you can sync a shot on someone that you haven't got in your clear line of sight because they're behind a wall or something, but everyone else will get in position to go shoot that person, not get detected, and you could just fire at the wall and everyone else will shoot the guy. So it's been a bit of a cheeky way of getting through, but it's quite handy.
Broken bloody Britain is what it is,
Broken
Coleman.
bloody Wildlands. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to wait till the season pass comes down in price because I'm sure that'll appear in a sale at some point. Now we're getting closer to the end of the year. Because I think it's £30 for the season pass, but I want some of the extra content and stuff that's in that game and the extra missions and things. A little bit annoyed because some of the Uplay stuff is locked behind. There's a couple of clothes and item sets that are locked behind if you played the beta or the alpha. And I played both of those, and none of them have unlocked, so I'm a little bit annoyed. And that seems to happen a lot with Ubisoft games and betas and alphas and stuff with me, so I'm not sure why that happens. But you can dress up as a character from The Division with a little orange light on the back and all that kind of stuff, so I'm dressed as that dude at the moment. With the I've got an iconic jacket and an iconic hat and an iconic orange thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Who are they iconic of?
I don't know, something Ubisoft do.
Yeah, all right.
Everything's iconic.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, it's fixed now, so go play it, and it's really cheap.
Been playing anything else there, Coleman?
I've been playing Human Fall Flat.
What's that all about?
What's that all about? So we
it all
got
about?
sent a trailer for this a little while ago, and it looks, immediately after looking at the trailer, I thought, this looks a lot like Gang Beasts, because you've got a kind of plasticine-y looking character, very floppy and weird kind of physics to the character. And after exploring it a bit more, no, that's just a coincidence. This is a kind of puzzle platformer physics-based thing, but it's not really a platformer because your character's so awkward.
I mean, looking at it, I'm just watching this trailer now as we speak. I'm live interneting people. It kind of like, if you wondered what Morph would look like if he let himself go a bit in his middle age, it's a bit
you
like...
would not believe how many times I've made a Morph joke in the past and had to explain who Morph is. No one seems to know who Morph is anymore.
Morph is awesome.
I know who Morph is.
Yeah,
Who is
because we're
Morph, Tim?
old.
Morph.
You're
is
older.
Morph, obviously.
It's a little brown
Yeah, very
plasticine
good.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his other mate.
Actually, what's Morph's mate called? The white one.
Joaquin.
Joaquin. I like it. Yeah, so what this is meant to be is you're a human. And a human
You're a human.
Thank you. Has no abilities. A human can walk, a human can jump, a human can climb, a human can grab things, and that's about it. What you've actually got is this character that you can customize. So I've got a little red dude who wears a hoodie and stuff, and you have to take him through different levels through figuring out how to use him. But the controls are very kind of Octodad-like, where everything's literal. You've got to control one arm and another arm independently of each other. To climb, you have to aim your arms by looking up or down with the right stick, and you use the shoulder buttons.
I've had that experience after about 12 pints is what that usually happens. I've just got to aim my arm, just line it up. That I don't quite know where this joke's going, so do continue talking.
Bad joke, Dan.
Because,
Bad joke.
I know,
Dan.
sorry. I know, bad joke.
Back down from the joke.
Anyway,
So if you want to pick something up that's on the ground, you have to look at the ground and then put your arms out, or one arm, to pick it up. And if you want to climb something, you have to lift your arms in the air by looking up and lifting your arms up, and then running at a wall and just sort of splatting against it, and then looking down to pull yourself up again. It's a very difficult, purposely difficult control system. Again, very reminiscent of kind of Octodad style controls, but instead of having really lanky long arms that are throwing things around everywhere, you're trying to do it with style character.
Are you kind of clumsy as well then? Or
You're
is it
very
just that
clumsy.
It's awkward anyway.
It's very clumsy. I've got to a point where...
are you just generally having a go at Tim there? Or
in
just,
general, yeah. As well as the...
Tim, you're an idiot.
So your purpose is you'll fall into an area, and then you've got to navigate your way through that area, doing different physics puzzles and things. So you might have to push an object and then climb onto the object, and then while standing on the object, because it's on wheels or something, that uses like train carriages as one of these objects, so you can push it to a platform, climb on the platform, climb on the train carriage, and then you can grab a wall and start walking to move the object underneath you as it's on wheels, and then let go at the optimum point to carry on with it. One of the bits I'm kind of stuck on is you do all this and you keep climbing up and up and up, and you get to a point where there's a rope, and you've got to pick the rope up and then jump off a cliff and try swing to the next platform, which is really far away. And I missed it on the first jump, and that means I have to go back, and each time the rope doesn't spawn in the same place. Now the rope is swinging back and forth, and I have to figure out how to jump and grab the rope so I can keep swinging back, and it's near impossible. So I had to sort of restart that level and get to the point where the rope's back at the top again, rather than trying to grab this swinging rope. It's really difficult, really entertaining though. They've added multiplayer, but unfortunately I'm playing it on the Switch, and the Switch version, you can have 2-player, but you need either 2 Joy-Cons set as one, or a Pro Controller or something. You can't use the 2 split Joy-Cons on it.
Aww.
Which is a bit upsetting, because I don't have £70 for an extra controller right now, because those controllers are expensive. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to trying some multiplayer when I actually do go get a controller. The versions that are on the PS4 and the Xbox One and the PC, I believe they are 4-player versions. So you can try do these puzzles all together, and it looks ridiculous and fun.
Hey, do you know when this game is released? Fun fact.
Go on then.
22nd of July, 2016.
Yes, that was the PS4, Xbox One, and PC versions. May have just been the PC one to begin with, and then the consoles later. The Switch version came out last week, I believe. But yeah, I recommend giving it a go, and it's pretty cheap as well.
Cthulhu approves. What else do you think Cthulhu approves of?
Souls.
Getting on with the show.
Potpourri, I think he approves of.
That South Park episode where they make him out to be like Totoro.
yeah, he does approve of that. Oh, Cthulhu. Anyway, we ought to really look back in time now, I suppose, shouldn't we? It's
gonna go back in time.
Yeah.
Do we have to?
Yeah, well, we can. Back to the heady days of 2016, where we thought no year could be more crap than 2016.
Can we go back to the time where I had hair?
No, Coleman.
Because that was 2016.
Was it? Yeah, but you voluntarily removed most of the hair, to be fair.
Yeah, in April, yeah.
Yeah, so, you've only got yourself to blame, really.
I am quite the April Fool, you know.
So I suppose we ought to really go back and just tally the books and see how good we were about predicting things that were worth looking forward to in 2017. Answer, not very.
Speak for yourself.
So, Coleman.
Yes.
Since you seem so devil may care about this.
It's called Devil May Cry, and it's a good game, Dan.
Yeah, no, it's Scalebound.
Oh, Scalebound.
This is what you were looking forward to in 2017. Scalebound, or Arse Hat and His Dragon Simulator, as I like to think of it.
Scalebound looked like... I thought it looked really good. They had this kind of Dante-style character, and he's got a sword, and he's a bit cocky.
And a dragon!
And he's got a dragon as well. And you do this kind of third-person hack-and-slash looking gameplay while you have a dragon to muck around with as well. And then there was this whole multiplayer aspect they added in, which I wasn't particularly interested in. I just wanted the game. This was coming to Xbox One. This was one of the reasons I bought an Xbox One, along with Crackdown 3.
Yeah. How's that all working out for you, mate?
Oh, great, mate.
Brilliant.
So yeah, we did the games we were looking forward to this year, and then, like some kind of joke against me, this got cancelled. I think it was 2 days into the year. And then as the weeks progressed, it turned out that... So this was from Platinum Games as well. And Platinum have done pretty well this year. What happened is they kind of severed ties with this Xbox project, and Xbox removed any mention of it on their website. They removed any trailer of it, any gameplay trailer, E3 clips, anything at all from their YouTube channels and what have you. So it's like they've erased the existence of Scalebound completely. There were rumours going out in the year later on that it seemed that Platinum were trying to shop the IP to a different publisher, but there's been no kind of solid basis on that. It may have just been a rumour going around. So one of my choices got burnt. Not happy.
Hey! But to be fair, though, you have made up with it on at least one of your other choices. Well, probably both of those choices, actually, because both of them are pretty spiffing games.
I think both of those choices. I'll go with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because that was a joke in itself of me picking it, because that was a game that got held back by 2 years as well, because that was the game I bought my Wii U for, and then instead bought it on the Switch. Very fun game. I think I picked well there. Much like Horizon Zero Dawn, I didn't play that as much as I've played Zelda. I played a fair whack of it, but kind of the big problem with big open world games for me is if I'm not invested in the story as much as I should be, then I'm going to start time sinking into side objectives, and then eventually I'll get bored of that and then forget I was playing a game and stop.
Yeah.
It's a big problem. That's why I've not finished many Assassin's Creed games.
But you're a video gaming magpie, is what you're saying. You're like, oh, shiny thing. I'm going to go and have a look at that.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you try to cover as many games as you can so you can talk about them on podcasts or write about them or whatever you need to, you end up not finishing many games and having to go back from the end of the year.
Does make it more
difficult. What have you. Yeah. I mean, I finished Assassin's Creed Unity this year, so that puts you where I get to with these big open world games. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, it's a very pretty game. I had a lot of fun with it. I need to go back to it. I'm sure once I solidly sit down and play it properly, I'm going to enjoy it more. I think I'm like a quarter of the way through the game, all in all. And I do actually have the expansion that I need to play at some point as well, so I really need to finish this game. But yeah, I think I made two good picks there, and then one pick that was sadly cancelled.
Ah, what did Tim pick?
I went Mass Effect Andromeda was my first pick.
As did
which I wasn't as disappointed as some people on the internet, but also, like, we talked about not going back to games. I haven't been back to this, but there's probably games I want to rush back to more this year than finishing off Mass Effect Andromeda. I enjoyed some of the time I played with it, and like immediately it didn't seem that different, but it didn't drive me to go back and play it, basically.
Yeah.
I think I had more fun with Mass Effect Andromeda than the pair of you, because I played a lot of the multiplayer and I really enjoyed it. I didn't play a single bit of the single player, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, the multiplayer is pretty much lifted from Mass Effect 3, wasn't it? With some, and I think you'll like this comment, some quality of life updates. But the single player, the kind of the narrative never. I think the problem is just like the main protagonist just was not a likable and interesting character. It just all felt a little bit.
Did you have a male protagonist or a female protagonist?
I had a male protagonist.
I think that's what the problem was.
What? Right, okay.
I don't know. This is my first Mass Effect game, and I was watching.
That makes a difference.
What?
Yeah. Well, I own all the other games, but I haven't played them. I was watching Alex and Julia play a lot of the Mass Effect stuff on their Cookies and Booze live stream, and I thought it looked all right. I don't know what the big problem was.
I love Mass Effect 2 more than anything else.
I had nothing to compare it to, so that's probably why, but I thought it looked all right. and I enjoyed the multiplayer.
Well, I mean, there are worse games out there, but I think it just...
WWE 2K18 on the Switch.
No,
Sorry,
Coleman.
sore throat.
No, Coleman. Are you... No.
That was a bad game.
Bad game.
Plays at 15 frames per second.
Hey, at least it's a solid 15 frames a second.
It gets worse. It's like the game is permanently in slow-mo.
Oh, that game. Yo. It's a shame. It was never going to fill the big old shoes of Mass Effect 1 through 3, but even Mass Effect, the original Mass Effect trilogy, arguably slightly went off the rails towards the end anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, I enjoyed Mass Effect 3 anyway, but yeah, like generally it was a bit down. And for one of my other picks was For Honor, and I really enjoyed the little bit of this game I played, but I didn't play enough, and I don't think I got enough out of it because I wasn't really up for playing online as much as I hoped I would be. Like I keep on thinking I'll play stuff online and then just never really doing it. I need to learn. I prefer single player content.
Generally. I have a question.
Yes?
Because we played a fair bit of this in beta. Did you play more of the beta than the actual game?
Quite possibly. No, I did play a little bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, not one I'll be rushing back to over and above other things that I'd like to finish and play more of this year, basically. But apparently it's developed a reasonable online community and has kept going. And again, another game that has been well supported generally by Ubisoft. So hopefully that's one can just grow and grow. I don't know
Tom
if
Clancy's
there'll be a sequel to that going down the line, but yeah, we'll see. Tom Clancy's For Honor, yeah.
I think I reckon if the other Ubisoft titles are anything to go by, what they'll do is they'll keep this going for a while. They'll keep supporting it. At some point, they'll do some amazing patch and expansion for it. A load of people will come back to it, and if enough people come back, that will champion a sequel. If not, they'll probably support this a little bit longer and then eventually phase it out.
Yeah. And, well, another one now in the Ubisoft stable, I picked up I was looking forward to South Park: The Fractured Butthole, and yeah, that worked out okay. I'll come back to that later in the show.
Yeah, you did a clever there, Tim.
Yep.
Well done,
Actually came out this year, but yeah.
Right. Okay. So I suppose I really ought to fess up what kind of which dogs I was backing this year. So we've already looked down our noses at Mass Effect Andromeda. I just remain very, very disappointed.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I'm just disappointed. You had so much potential and you just squandered it, didn't you? Didn't you? Very, very disappointing.
Probably shelved the license, to be fair.
Yeah, this is true. And another one I was looking forward to was Gran Turismo Sport, if for nothing more than just kind of the whole excitement of a Gran Turismo game, the thought of that finally turning up on the PS4, but man, they made a lot of weird choices with that game. And I played the demo, the kind of the beta, and I was just like, no, I'm not going to buy this. What are they doing? It was just such a... it's just, I mean, Gran Turismo has always been a bit up its own backside, but this was just ridiculous. And, you know, someone really, really needs to tell them how games are designed in the 21st century, because, you know, they've never really changed with the user interface, anything like that. Do you know what it needs, Coleman?
What does it need? Does it need a quality of life
update? It's what it needs.
I ended up with a copy of this, and I keep on, like, going to play it and then going, I really need to be kind of focused and it's not a game I can just casually enjoy, kind of thing is the problem.
Yeah,
with it.
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, Forza you can certainly to me has always felt more pick up and play, whereas Gran Turismo has always kind of slightly revelled in its own kind of complicatedness, for want of a better way to put it, and it kind of.
Although I do want to mess around with the VR at some point as well. That's another reason why.
Yeah, I can see that being really good, even though it's a little bit
limited in the two player.
If you bought it for the VR. Yeah, if you bought it for the VR, that was not good. But yeah, I just think it's kind of, you know, Polyphony really need to get with the times, and, you know, yeah, it's great to have, you know, a purist car game, but there's also a lot of other titles out there now, like Project Cars, you know, iRacing is for where the real kind of racing aficionados go, even like, I think it's Assetto Corsa as well.
Yeah. All
of which have got console releases too, with the exception of iRacing.
But I think Gran Turismo is doing some interesting things with its, like, racing league and all that type of stuff. It's just that's just not of general interest to me, and there seems a little bit stripped down on single player content in focus of that, and then that doesn't really suit me, kind of thing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a shame. I mean, it may well, you know, get some updates in the year to come, which sorts it out. But I kind of just think it's very much kind of felt like kind of a lot of what some kind of Japanese gaming studio ethos is, which is kind of, well, this is how it is. You just like it, please, rather than actually thinking, well, what do our consumers want? It's like, well, this is what we think our consumers should experience, so this is how we're going to do it. Which is a shame, because I think Gran Turismo it's kind of got a special place in many gamers' hearts for being kind of the first real driving simulator, but very much feels like it needs to get with the times these days.
Yeah, I feel like it needs to be a more kind of fun celebration of all kinds of racing game, you know, all kind of racing things.
Rather than kind of a stoical taking itself very seriously, worrying about, you know, how many sideways Newton meters of grip you've got and stuff like that. So, yeah, but it'd be nice to see it do good. And on the subject of games that you'd like to see do good eventually, the other one I was looking forward to, unsurprisingly, was Destiny 2.
How'd that work out for you, Dan?
Well,
mixed bag.
I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted by Destiny 2.
Okay.
And this is kind of why, you know, although it is still one of my games of 2017, but that's more because it's a good place to chill out with your mates, because I played a lot of it, and at its heart, it's a really solid shooter. But again, they've created such a great universe for this franchise to exist, but yet it feels like they're squandering it
not
at every
delivering
turn.
their promise on its promise.
Yeah, and exactly, and you know, if anything, they're probably guilty of like dreaming aloud with it to some degree. But and also some of the more recent moves as well. I mean, it's been a very interesting kind of case study in community engagement and kind of the disconnect between what a studio may think good engagement is versus actually what kind of an increasingly rabid fan base for the game thinks is good community interaction. Just seeing how they're balancing that, and it's been really interesting. Actually, Destiny 2 is not the only franchise like that. I think it's been a really interesting year of kind of like the consumer voice against kind of the big publishers. I mean, look at Battlefront 2, for example, is the one that always gets brought up, but also kind of other games with loot boxes as well. And it's not only about loot boxes, although the press would try and make you believe it is. But I mean, I think it's game development is increasingly becoming a lot more of a two-way street, which I suppose we should have always seen coming once kind of there was no real impetus to ship a completely finished game anymore, because you can always do your homework at the last minute and issue a day one patch.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, Destiny 2 is still one of my favourite games of the year, but that's more for the people who I've played it with.
Hi.
Rather than... Yeah, hi, Coleman. We had a great time in that raid. I didn't nearly rage quit 3 times.
I had a great time until you buggered off to the PC.
Yeah, I know. I had a great time.
My fire team quit, and now I've got no one to play with.
Aww.
Deserters, the lot of you.
Yeah, we are. So so I mean, Destiny 2 is an interesting game, and I think they hopefully will turn it around. But I've got a feeling it's going to be a bit like with Destiny 1 and the Taken King. You know, the game will really find its stride a year after release, after you've sunk another 60 quid into DLC. So kind of go figure, really. But yeah. Well, anyway, that was one of my fave games, as well as one of the things I was looking forward to.
Should we do our games of the 2017 then?
Well,
we should
just
do the games
started
of 2017
with that as well.
We just started in an undetectable segue.
Oh.
So I'll tell you what, I'll do Plunkbat or PUBG, or
Pubbage.
PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Pubbage, however people want to refer to it. Originally out on the PC, now out in some kind of incarnation
Pugby.
on the Xbox One. What? Tim?
Pugby, the pug rapper.
Pugby. Yeah, nice.
I like it.
It's a shooty game where you shoot the mans. And it's the game every other game's love to rip off this year, I think is the only way to describe it. Really good fun, again, playing with some mates. I have only won one chicken dinner.
You're rubbish.
Which, well, yes, I am. And I'm okay with that. And what I like about the game is that it's like a high-octane version of cricket. Where 90%, yes, hear me out, 90% of the time there's utterly bugger all going on and you're kind of vaguely bored. But then the 10% of the time where the brown stuff's hit the fan and everything's going off, it's really amazing. And it's kind of you're always in that constant waiting for another shoe to drop. It's all about kind of risk reward. Do you make a run? Check that, see what loot's in this other house. But then if you're anything like me and Kev and... yeah, mainly like me and Kev. As soon as someone creeps up on you, you just absolutely panic. Successfully shoot the door behind the person you're trying to shoot, and then they just smack you in the head and you're dead. But it is good fun for reasons I don't know. I mean, I'm rubbish at first-person shooters, and I still have a good time with this game.
Good. All right, 100 pugs.
And they're genuine.
Parachute onto an island.
Full of pugs, yes. Rabid pugs is exactly what happens, Tim, yes.
Good.
Excellent.
That's settled then. Are you going to buy the Xbox One version? Or...
No.
Good.
No.
Apparently that's working really well and people are really happy.
Although to be fair, I think they kind of slightly misrepresented themselves on that because it's about to hit its actual release on PC, probably so they can squeak into Game of the Year lists this year. I think is probably what they're going for. But I think a lot of people assume the Xbox One version was as far along as the PC version, and it really isn't
because they said it was.
Yeah, but it isn't.
No one assumed. People were told.
Yeah, but it isn't. It really isn't. Unless you like gaming in glorious 10 frames a second at some points, apparently.
Oh, WWE 2K18 on the Switch.
Hey, yeah, it's the hot favourite this year. So, it's good, a good fun game. Yet more laughs to be had with friends and all and sundry.
Wonderful.
But if you don't like other people, there was one game left on my one of my favourite games this year, and I think it's one of yours as well, Tim, and that's Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah,
this is one I haven't completed, but in terms of like my favourite gaming memories of the year, this definitely left its mark and is one I really am itching to go back to and actually complete, and hope I will do so during my holiday, basically.
It's got the last couple of sequences of the game. There's some amazing set pieces,
and I've heard that's really good as well. So I'm kind of
really
looking
worth
forward
doing
to it as well. But
did you pick up the DLC for it, or
no? I have not. Although it's kind of in and around my house, so I might have access to it somehow. But I still just want to finish the main game. But as I said, in terms of games that left their mark on me this year, that's definitely high up there on the list. Basically,
I mean, it was a really, really kind of nice kind of Metroidvania is the wrong way. It wasn't quite Zelda. It wasn't quite Metroidy.
Right. It was well constructed in an interesting, familiar way, but just masterfully done. I think basically, and I think that's why it kind of left its mark on me as well. Basically.
It reminded me a lot of...
And had some really nice twists and turns with the way they told the story. Not only in the story itself, but in the way they told it too. Which I thought was, it was a really... And I kind of became quite invested in the world, thinking, wow, I wonder what this looked like before civilization collapsed and what was going on here. And I thought that was That was really, really nicely done.
It really reminded me of Journey to the West, but, able to keep my interest.
Yeah. Did you finish the game, Coleman?
No, we already said this. I played about a quarter of it, and I need to go back to it.
And the dude, there's the dude who voices Zavala from Destiny in the game, and that just used to confuse me. I was like, what? Am I playing Destiny again? Why is everything Destiny? Do I need an intervention?
Yes.
Yes.
Also, the character of Aloy comes to Monster Hunter, which we can talk about later.
Ooh. Yes. So those are my 3, really. So Plunk Bat, Destiny 2, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice. Well, as you've already mentioned one of mine, Horizon Zero Dawn, I'll segue into the other 2. There was quite a few different VR experiences I could have possibly picked from, but especially with...
There's a bloody surprise.
Well, especially with like Farpoint or Dick Wild, and just the use of the gun in VR was just a very interesting and thing that left its mark this year. But the standout experience for me was Super Hot VR, basically. That definitely, kind of left its mark and is one I will definitely remember and look back on. Not one that I've played that much of very recently, but it's one that I've played all the way through and really enjoyed and was really good.
It's one that I loved on the Vive, and sadly the PSVR limitations kind of sullied it a little bit, but it's still an enjoyable game. If I went just for the PSVR version, I would have enjoyed that version a lot more, but going one and then having a full 360 motion around you, and then suddenly going to a game where if I put my arm in the wrong position, my arm just drops down on the floor and drops the weapons and that kind of thing. It was a little bit infuriating, but it was a really good game, and I prefer the VR version over the main game as well.
Yeah,
and as well, it's worth mentioning. We mentioned it a few times, but this isn't like a port of Superhot 2 VR. This is a full, fresh built game. It just looks exactly the same because it's the very easily mimicked style.
And Super Hot in and of itself is just a fantastic game as well.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah. But see, I could have also, and I won't go into it too much, but I could have also mentioned Skyrim VR because that was a standout experience. But that is very much that game with VR patched in, although patched in very well and with UI and stuff adjusted. But Super Hot was a completely different game from the ground up, so I went with that basically. And yeah, I could have possibly plumbed for another VR pick for my other one, but I think the game that grabbed me and pulled me through it the most, especially in recent months, was South Park: Fractured Butthole. As I said, it was one I was looking forward to. Didn't quite hit the heights of the previous game for me in terms of just
knob gags.
Well, no. The previous one was more of a kind of, different thing, shock to the system, something that was a bit new, where they have redefined and I quite like the changes they made to the combat and a few other things when I got used to that. But yeah, it just didn't have quite the impact of the first game, basically. But really enjoyed it and yeah, had good fun playing through it, and good campaign and yeah, it was a good game. I enjoyed it.
Watching Tim play South Park: Fractured Butthole gave me one of the funniest things I'd seen in a game all year, and it's a really simple but cute and funny joke, and it worked. Which is all the kids are fighting out on the street, and then all of a sudden they stop and just go, car, and then they all move onto the pavement, car goes past, and then they all go back onto the road again. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, that takes me back.
Yeah, and there's just loads of this little in-jokes to keep on reminding you that it's within their heads kind of thing and their playtime kind of idea. But yeah, really enjoyable and fun, and obviously a bit crass in places because it's South Park, and some things will probably offend some people. But generally, yeah, I had a really good fun time playing through it. So
good.
There you go.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
Although I would have to admit that one of the games that Coleman is going to talk about is probably one of the best made games I've played this year. Basically.
Yeah, I have to say 2 out of your 3 would have also been on my list if I had a Switch. Put it that way.
Well,
yeah, these I almost found myself as declaring 2 of these, even though I hadn't played them, as 2 of my games of 2017.
Tim's obviously talking about Destiny 2, so let's talk about Destiny 2. Because my Destiny 2 experience is very different to Dan's, where Dan's is the much more social thing. Like I say, I started out very social, but then people have dropped off playing, or people have moved to the PC. So I do spend a lot of this game on my own, which means I don't play it probably as much as everyone else, because there's no reason to kind of jump back in. So I play this like once or twice a week. I play a couple of hours on it. And because of that, I don't get burnt out on it. I enjoy my game. Like the DLC came out, and I know like a big complaint of yours, Dan, was like, oh, this is very samey. You know, there's not really a lot to it. But by just doing a couple of hours on it and then come back to it the next week, I went, actually, I'm really enjoying this. It's more Destiny. It's just what I needed at this point. So I'm really enjoying Destiny 2. It's probably the game I actually, between these three, I don't know. It's a close toss-up between Mario and Destiny 2, but it's one of the ones that I put the most hours into this year. Super Mario Odyssey, that's probably my favorite game this year in total. I never really latch onto Mario games like everyone else does. I play them for a little bit and then I stop, and then years later I'll go back and enjoy it. But this is one that I got to play right out of the bat and just absolutely loved it all the way through. And
this is the one I was talking about. It's just such a well-made, well-crafted game that you can't not appreciate it.
And even, I mean, as far as, I remember when we were talking about this when they first announced Super Mario Odyssey at the, it wasn't the Switch reveal, but like the Switch event, first big event they did. And everyone was freaking out about the eyes on the hat. And I was more fascinated with, there was a point in the trailer where Mario throws his hat between two ledges, then jumps onto the hat and off the hat onto the next one. I was like, oh my God, I felt like a child all of a sudden just watching this amazing platformer mechanic that I'd never seen used before. Just like, that's really cool. I can't wait to play this game. And I've loved every minute of it. I don't think there's one bit in that game that I've been annoyed with. And there's parts of the game where if this had been one of the big publishers, this probably could have had microtransactions thrown into it. There's going to be DLC in this game, but we don't know what it is because it's not rammed down our throat that there's going to be DLC. It's like all the kind of ugly side of gaming in the modern day has been stripped out, and it's just a super fun game, and I really enjoy it. If you get a Switch, or if you know someone who has a Switch and you can borrow this for a bit, totally worth doing. Really should do it. The other one is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is the first game I picked up on the Switch. You've probably heard this to death by the end of this year, especially with all the Game of the Year stuff. It won Game of the Year at the Game Awards. It's fun. It's huge. It kind of reinvents not just reinvents Zelda by adding the whole open world, travel anywhere, do anything mechanic, but it kind of reinvents the open world genre as well, of going around doing everything by not just blindsiding you with icons and tutorials. And it's like, here's a big world. You figure it out. Go do what you want to do. Everything is climbable. You're not stuck anywhere. Just do it. It's fun. And that's what it has been fun. I've actually bought myself the expansion pass today as well.
Awesome.
Because it's one that, while I am enjoying, it's a very hefty game, and I don't particularly have the time to do everything in that game that I want to. And there are some items in the DLC which is intended to help you kind of polish up the game once you've finished it and go out and find all hidden items and things. And I intend to use those during the main game itself to finish it off. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So probably in order, it'd be Mario, Destiny 2, then Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for me as my games of the year.
One thing I should have said about my list is it's heavily, starred with the fact that I need to go back and possibly play quite a few other games that might change that list somewhat, but we shall see. Hopefully between now and the end of the year, I'll get a chance to play a few games at least.
Yeah, and we'll say this isn't the Golden Barrel Awards. This is our own individual thing for BRB UK. We've done this 3 years running now, so it's just nice to get our own little choices out there before we go and make our big decisions and finish off our games and stuff.
So I suppose on that note, as we unplug the ventilation machine from 2017, we ought to look forward to 2018. Because there's games coming out then as well. So, what are you looking forward to, chaps?
Oh, you want us to start?
Well, you can start. I can start. I don't mind.
I thought you've been quiet for a while, so I thought it'd be nice if you started.
I shall start. Well, now, because I'm, essentially I'm moving away, moving around the video game equivalent of Class A drugs. So I'm going from looking forward to Destiny 2 again, which I wasn't allowed, to looking forward to Anthem.
Which is totally going to get delayed to 2019.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got to say, it probably will.
Probably in 2 days' time, just like Coleman.
No, that means it gets cancelled.
Oh, no.
It'll get cancelled for its Star Wars Destiny-like.
BioWare get closed.
Well, don't say that. Could happen. So this is the big open world multiplayer shared world shooter thing that that BioWare are putting together, and had kind of some very, very cool looking teaser trailer stuff shown off at E3 this year, and I just think it looks awesome. It looks I would say it's a bit like if Destiny and Mass Effect Andromeda's multiplayer had a love child.
Yeah, see, I really like the look of it. It would be on my list if I believed for one moment it was coming out next year.
Also, it'd be on my list
Fair
if
enough.
I believed for one moment that the footage we saw wasn't just all pre-rendered crap.
Quite a lot of it probably
I don't believe
was.
any of that was gameplay.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be one of those games that I think interesting. I think the current gen of consoles are going to start, certainly the first iteration of them, because we're now in a ridiculous world where you have the Pro and the X. The first iteration of PS4 and Xbox One, I think, are going to start showing their age a little bit in the games this year. Where I think there's going to be a real push for people to move up to the Pro or the X to get anything even vaguely approaching what Anthem looked like.
Yes.
I mean, it very much the graphics were, in the trailers and the game and the gameplay, quote unquote, they showed was amazing. But it, I think all of us remember being spun that merry tale for Watch Dogs back in the day. So we'll see, but it looks like it could be a lot of fun.
The gameplay looks fun. The gameplay they're aiming for at least looks fun. So yeah, hopefully it looks good.
Yeah, and kind of on that kind of shared world craziness, co-op madness, I'm quite looking forward to Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, me too. Have you tried the beta yet?
Because no, I have not tried the beta.
Oh, is it still available? I have no idea.
I can't. Because it was. Yeah, lots of real life happened the weekend that was coming out, and I meant to play it, but never did.
No, that's fair enough. They did a beta where you could basically play like a beginner's, a medium, and a harder hunt. You could either play on your own or you could play with friends. And if you completed any of those missions, you would earn exclusive items that would then carry over to the main game when it comes out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I got to play it. I really enjoyed it. It was very much like playing the 3DS version, but exactly what I needed, like a higher sheen of polish, easier to connect with people online. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Well, actually, here's a fun fact. There is actually another open beta coming up. So this will be from December the 22nd at 5 p.m. UK until December 26th at 5 p.m. UK.
Nice, let's all give it a go.
Merry Christmas.
Let's all give it a go. And it will be available for all PS4 players, regardless of whether or not you have a PlayStation Plus subscription. So Merry Christmas, everyone. I will be well up for a bit of that. I mean, my only concern is, because I did have a little dabble on Monster Hunter on the 3DS, but I very promptly discovered I had absolutely no idea what the devil was going on.
It was a game that, it took me a while to get into it. I can't remember which version I had, but I was playing on the 3DS. It became my new tube game, and I really enjoyed it. But then it got to a point where it just became too difficult. And when I looked it up online, it's like, yeah, this is the point you need to be playing with other players. And I was like, well, I don't take my portable out of the house to then play with other people. I take it out because it's a portable. I don't sit around the house and connect to my Wi-Fi and then play with other people.
Well, there falls you.
Yeah, so it seems like it would be better suited on a home console. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Switch version of that is as well.
I think it's going to be pretty awesome. And you can customize your cat.
Oh, and Aloy is going to be a character for PlayStation players, and you can get like a robot cat version. I forget what cats are called in that.
Palico?
Palico, that's it.
Palico.
You can get like a robot Palico. You can have Palico that is like a Mega Man pixelated blocky cube thing. It's so cool.
So that is going to be out, January 28th, if all goes well?
Yep. I'll be picking that up.
Now, I'm just watching the Palico customization trailer. Have they got... you can have a Manx cat tail.
Yes.
So I can be followed about by Hobnob the cat a video game.
You can have the cat with the little flat ears and stuff as well. That was the thing as well, because I downloaded Monster Hunter on mine and Tim's on the beta and expected we could play together. And then Tim just walked up to me customizing my cat. He's like, what the hell's this? We could play together. No.
No, I'm customizing my cat.
So what was your third one, Dan?
My third one was only largely because of, the recent video game awards and the dude who's making it.
That can't be the reason.
No, well, I just kind of want to see him do well. But I think genuinely it's going to be, potentially a really interesting kind of game mechanic is A Way Out, which is the prison break. F the Oscars.
FEA.
It's the kind of the couch co-op. Even remote online co-op, even if your other buddy doesn't have a copy of the game, you're going to be able to try and escape from a prison together and then lead a delinquent lifestyle without being discovered and being thrown back in the slammer. So I think this could be a really, really fun game. My only concern is being able to, the scheduling you're going to need, because as far as I can work out, it's essentially pretty much mandatory. You're going to have to play with someone else. It's just, presumably you're going to have to play with the same person each time to get the most out of it. So that's my only concern. But I think certainly from the way he was describing it and the way it looks, I think this could be a really, really, really fun game. I really do. But we'll see. The proof is in the pudding. It could yet disappear up its own bottom. But apparently, if anybody thinks his game is rubbish, he's going to hunt you down and tell you that it's actually really quite good. So, at least he's putting his money where his mouth is. You've got to give him that. But I think it looks like a fun game that kind of is going to be something that's a little different from everything else that's landing next year.
Somebody has transcribed his rant.
Amazing.
And it's hilarious. Just to read it. Go on, Tim, what's yours?
Right. So, well, one that I'm definitely looking forward to, despite recent controversy, Detroit Become Human.
Yay!
I really do like David Cage stuff, and this one looks like it's using the mechanics of a game that I really liked in a setting I'm really interested in. Like this whole kind of period of history, or period in the kind of future where humans are going to have to tackle some of the things that they're questioning in this game, like exactly where androids fit into society and all that type of stuff. I find that a fascinating thing, and I trust David Cage to make a really interesting game around that, basically. And it looks, as I said, more like Heavy Rain type style mechanics, and I really enjoyed that. And it's kind of a perfection of those mechanics as well. And so I really, really am looking forward to this very much. Should be good.
Good.
Yeah, some of my other stuff, or some other things I was considering on Mr. Coleman's list, so I'll leave that to him. But just pointing out a few VR things. You wouldn't let me have Moss, although I am quite looking forward to Moss. That's earlier in the year.
No, we wouldn't let you have four.
I will gloss over Moss and
God's sakes.
Go for Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, particularly because of the VR content. I have played a demo of this and it is fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to that. VR really kind of suits being in cockpits, and this is a really good use that we haven't seen someone develop of, and the kind of arcade fighter combat sim stuff I quite like anyway, and in VR I just think adds an extra dimension to it. It's really good.
It's the point of view in cockpits, basically.
Good.
Clearing that up. Yeah,
good.
Lovely. Good.
Also, Blood and Truth, which I got a chance to play a demo of, looks really interesting. It's kind of gone past the locomotion, solved its locomotion issue by having a point-to-point system, but if you go for a point that's further away, you will speed up and all this type of stuff. And basically, it's... I
have a question.
Yes?
So have you just got to swing your hips,
No. But basically, Blood and Truth is kind of...
I'm glad you got that, Cole.
A lot of leads from like action movies and stuff like that in Die Hard, and it's the people that did LA Heist as kind of early demo thing that was part of PSVR Worlds, which showed promise, but this game really looks to take that to the next level, polish that up and make that into a full experience, and I'm really interested to see exactly what they do with it. There's kind of like choices and different things you can do in the game, but it feels a bit like next generation Time Crisis in a very praiseworthy kind of way of that, but with action games and action sequences and stuff, and little kind of puzzle sequences as well. I think this is going to be really good. Also, on another quick note, Shooty Fruity coming out in a couple of days, and I'm really looking forward to that. So that should be another VR game looking forward to this week, basically. But
So, anyway. Blood and Truth. Yes. I know you'll get to like it if you give it a chance now. Come on, baby. Do that locomotion.
Good.
My little baby sister can do it with ease.
On,
every school
baby,
disco in the 90s and 80s.
Yeah, it was.
So my 3 for 2018, I'll start off with Far Cry 5. I originally had no interest in Far Cry 5, and then I played it at EGX. And after checking out some of the multiplayer stuff the co-op multiplayer stuff that's coming in as well, I'm genuinely interested. So yeah, it's the basically with the Far Cry games, I've tried them, not really gotten along with them. Far Cry 3 kind of kept me for a little while, a couple of hours, and then I dropped off of it. Far Cry 4 interested me because I had the whole Keys of Kyrat system and the co-op stuff, but it was a very limited co-op. This one is meant to be you can play in co-op throughout the entire game, and I'm really interested in doing that, so I'll be picking up Far Cry 5. And I've played it, and I enjoyed it. So
yeah, I don't know about this one. I'm a bit torn.
Really?
We'll see.
Yeah, Tim had a particularly bad demo compared to me, I think.
Okay.
I blame a lot of the EGX stuff with the demo on Far Cry 5 is on their machines, because what happened is people that played later in the day or like halfway through the day, the demo ran really poorly. People who started at the very first part of the day went to Far Cry 5. The demo ran really well. So I don't know if there's some kind of heating issue or something.
Also, I just feel with the last couple of Far Crys, I've really enjoyed them at the start, played a bit of them, and then had no real desire to be pulled through with the
That's why you need to play in co-op.
Yeah, maybe.
Although
That's
I'm
why I
going
said
to be
I'm
very
torn.
interested to see, bearing in mind the place that America is in at the moment. America. How well this will be received, or the way in which it kind of will be paraded as a sign of this is all that is wrong with video games, bearing in mind kind of the subtext in Far Cry 5.
I mean, if there can be a stink about Wolfenstein 2 because you're killing Nazis and that's insensitive to the Nazis, there's a good chance there's going to be a stink kicked up about Far Cry 5, I think, in this day and age.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, we know it's coming out in 2018. We don't know when. It looks brilliant. I love the Spider-Man games, with the exception of the Amazing Spider-Man 2. That was awful. You can read my review on the site.
The not very Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, this looks fantastic, though, and
looks amazing.
It's probably one of my most looked forward to games of next year, but was on your list. And I'm also... I'm hopeful it doesn't, but I'm kind of thinking it might slip. I don't know. I hope it's been in development long enough without us knowing about it. And yeah.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think this will come out on like the 29th of December. I reckon it will come out in 2018 just because they left it a year before they gave a date, and then the date was just 2018. It has to come out in 2018.
Okay.
But 2018 fiscal or calendar?
You can't do that in a public thing. But anyway.
Oh, you can.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is my final one. I loved Red Dead Redemption. I played so much of that game, especially in the multiplayer. I'm a little bit dubious about multiplayer this time round because of the way they've done GTA Online, and it's progressed into this whole microtransaction fueled clubs and stuff, and so I'm a little bit worried, but I played a lot of GTA Online as well. I love Red Dead Redemption. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Stylistically, it's beautiful, and
one of the best endings in the video game ever, I think.
Still upsets me to this day, and
the way that game ties everything up is majestic.
Also,
so good.
Was it Catherine? I think we said about this before, and I nearly gave the ending away, and Tim said not to, and I was like, no one's going to care about a game that came out in, what was it, 2010? No one's going to care about the ending for a game that came out in 2010. And then I got a tweet from Catherine Payne saying, please don't spoil the ending, I haven't finished it. So if you've not finished it yet, by the time this one comes out, I'm going to spoil the ending. Mark my words. I put a timer on it.
Yeah, see, I never got to the ending because I think my Xbox broke partway through or something.
In the heydays where your front room truly was killing every bit of electronic equipment inside.
The original Red Dead. But that means I'm actually really looking forward to this. I kind of like Western type things, and this appeals to me in that kind of thing anyway. Like it seems like a good place for a game setting, basically, and yeah, they're going to do it well, and yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that as well.
When the first game came out, I was so excited for it, especially, and I didn't even know it was coming out, and then I saw Rockstar released like a big video where they did this kind of walkthrough of the game and like the old West and how everything looks now and the world built around you and stuff, and it just looks so amazing. I was like, I can't wait for this game, and it came out on day one. I went out and I picked it up, and I came back to my flat, and I lived with a fair few people, and a couple of them were into GTA 4, I think. And they were like, what is this? I go, it's Rockstar's new game. And they started watching me play. I go, this looks rubbish. I go, no, this is really good. Oh, you're going to love it. Give it a try. And no one tried it. So just to really annoy them, I went all in on this game. And I went out and I got a cowboy hat and I had a plaid shirt on.
Wow.
I dressed up for it. I was just sat in front of the TV and go, what are you doing? I go, playing Cowboys. And I had so much fun in this game, especially in online. I can't wait to do the online stuff. I've got so many stories on the online that game is just, it's so ridiculously fun. And I think it's the game I put them, it's probably somewhere between Skyrim and Red Dead Redemption 2, but that has to be my most played game of Xbox 360 completely.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that concerns me is that certainly the early trailers of Red Dead 2, there was a bit of the air of the uncanny valley going on with some of the kind of the facial animations, which I hope they can sort out in time for release. But yeah, I mean, it's it has a potential to be a great game. This, especially if it kind of tells the story in a similar manner, in a similar way to Red Dead 1, which is still one of my favourite bits of video game storytelling to this day. So yeah. I agree.
I can't wait.
Looking out for.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. It will be good. And stuff.
And ting.
Yo. Yo.
It's your boy.
It is your boy. Anyway, I suppose that's it, really, for 2017 for us, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to take a break now because we're all burnt out and stuff. You may have noticed towards the end of the year.
Exactly. As we gradually lost momentum. So more of the same next year, I suppose.
It's been a weird year.
It has been a weird year.
To be fair, it's been a pretty good year for games. Just a bad year for
it's been a
almost everything
year
else.
For gaming. Yeah, real life has and the world in general has gone a bit tits up. But video games have been great. So may they continue to be the rock upon which we base all of our sanity.
It's been a weird year.
It has been a weird year.
But thank you for listening thus far. I mean, it's been like we had you more on this year than we did last year, Dan. That's been nice.
That's been good.
Yes. Well, no. The opinion may be divided on that, but yes, it's been nice. It's been nice to be back. I mean, I can't still get my head around. We're going to hit 300 episodes next year.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous.
300. Do you know how many days?
That's a lot of time.
How many days of us, if you put them all back to back? You know what, I'm just going to calculate that now.
Please don't.
That's what I'm going to do. So about what hour? Let's call it 1.2 hours an episode. Multiply that by 300. Divide that by 24. That's 15 days solid.
Wow.
Whoa. Yeah.
That doesn't seem that much actually when you say it like that.
No. But like, if you never stopped, it would just be continuous BRB UK for 15 whole
15 days.
I think they do that to people in in prison camps and stuff.
It's just 15 days.
They just play BRB UK on a loop.
Yeah, exactly. Not at all. Just make them stop.
While making them play WWE 2K18 on the Switch.
Yeah, there could be that.
Why is it always in slow motion? I've got to send you some videos. It's terrible.
But yeah, so I mean, it's been a good fun year. I'm looking forward to a bit more of it next year. Doubt this BRB will have a couple of nice surprises around the corner.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll do a bit of general tarting up of how the site looks and stuff.
We've got plans.
We have
got plans. And who knows, maybe at some point over the Christmas period, I might even press the big red go button on a Discord server for the great and the good of BRB.
Ooh.
So keep your eyeballs peeled to the front page.
And Tim might even finish Destiny 2.
Destiny 1, Tim might finish.
No, Tim's got to do 2. We've had requests now. We've got to raise money for charity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want to deprive the little children with no arms and no legs, no lungs, and no hearts.
Think of the children, Tim.
Think of the children.
Why do you hate children, Tim?
Tim, can I just say, when he starts doing that in the middle of a charity live stream, makes you feel great, Tim. So I would just do it.
Good. Good. Well, no, on another note, just, a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and everything to both of you chaps and to all of our lovely, lovely listeners for putting up with us for all this length of time.
Indeed.
Still can't believe thousands of people listen to us every week. And
I know.
I
know.
Haven't got fed up with us by now, but yeah, thank you very much. Well,
at least Cthulhu was appeased for another festive season.
Yes,
good.
That's the main thing that I'm
Merry
glad
Festivus.
about. Merry Squidmas.
Merry Squidmas. I like Squidmas.
So and obviously I'm just incredibly grateful to still be doing this and have you two not have throttled me to death as
not
yet.
You're
Not
quite
yet.
far.
Yeah, you made that more difficult, to be fair.
Yeah, I was like, right, I'm going to Slough. It's like being in exile. It's great.
Wait till that Elizabeth line's built.
Yeah, oh, God damn it. Then civilization.
We're coming for you, Gibbons.
God damn it. But no, I mean, it's been, I can't really complain that I get to talk rubbish with two of my best mates, even if it is on the end of a microphone most of the time. But yeah, it's been good times. And, hey, it's Christmas. So, we better get off and start drinking whatever it is we drink, because eggnog's not really a thing here in the UK.
Bavarian lager.
It's called
Grandel.
Jim Beam, because it's on special.
Yeah, White Lightning, because it's cheap. That's what I'm going to go for.
You making fun of my mum again?
Yeah, I am.
Let's go get ourselves some quality of life updates.
Let's do that. And
as we like to call our beverages around here.
Quality of life update, finishing 2017.
Yeah, actually that will be a pretty major quality of life update. That's your lot for 2017, ladies and gentlemen. So I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim, and it might be Merry Christmas.
I've been Coleman, and yeah.
Cheers. Yeah. Merry, yeah.
Cheers for listening. Cheers for cooperating. Cheers for conversing, and cheers for all the good things. We genuinely have the best listeners.
We do have the best listeners.
We have the nicest listeners.
We do. Well, certainly the ones who write nice things to us. Most of them might just be seething in silence.
Maybe, but they appear nice on the outside, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, good. And for the fourth time this episode, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for downloading us again and again and again. And we will see you on the other side for 2018. So, until next year, dear listeners, toodle bye.
And your ears are quite welcome
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarel.com
for more podcasts,
news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarel.com